Okay, the next thing that we're going to make is a coil pot with a flat base. This again is another ancient method of making, made all around the world. Goes back thousands of years, and they would have made this in low B perhaps as well. We're going to get straight on with this. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to work with the clay and roll the clay to make a base. Once I show you how to roll the clay, you can use this method for any of the pots that you make that has a flat base like this. So first of all, you'll need a board like this. It can be a smaller size if you wish. It just so happens I've got this kitchen board. And what you do first is you'll need that towel that I showed you, and you're going to lay the towel down flat like so, and then you will get your guiders like this and you'll put them in the middle there, and then the clay that you're going to roll will go here, and then you'll get your rolling pin and you'll roll it. The first thing you'll have to do is you'll have to slice it from the bag and maybe shape it. You can do it on the table if you wish. Shape the clay and make almost a kind of rectangle shape like so. Give it a press. So you put it in the middle. Make sure your cloth is flat. The reason you have a cloth is because this clay, if we roll it on straight onto the wood, the clay will stick and it will rip, and you'll never get that thin slab up off the board. So when you use a cloth, you'll see that it peels away. So we get the clay like so. I'll just show you this quick. I'll use just a smaller part like that. So let's go like that. What you do is you roll your clay down, down, down. Try to keep the cloth flat. And what you'll find is the clay will become to the level you want, because it will reach the level of the guiders. The other thing you may find small bubbles in the surface of the clay. That's an air bubble forming. If you get a cocktail stick, just scratch a hole in the clay like so. If you don't, it may put air inside the pot and it may crack. Don't worry about those holes because they can be fixed later. It's just while the clay is wet and being rolled. So we roll the clay, we roll the clay. There's another one there. Take that out. And as you get lower, you can perhaps take off these thicker parts like that, cut that away, and then you'll start to reach the point where the rolling pin's going to meet the guider. So you roll down, and at that point there, that whole piece of clay is of the thickness of the wood, and the clay will be completely level because of the two pieces of wood. So we roll like that, and then if you slice off here like that, what you can do is, then if I take this, you will find that it peels away from the cloth. You can put it back down, and you can put your guiders down again, and then you keep rolling. And what you need to do is you need to turn it over a few times and roll it a few times, because it needs to be compressed. You need to compress the clay. If you compress it, it will become really strong and it won't crack. So you need to roll and turn like so, like that. Good press like that. Turn, roll. You may also find at a certain point that you get creases, but you can brush that away if you want, like that, with your finger. Keep rolling. There may be a point as well where this slab then is fairly big. If you try to lift that up when it's wet, it will rip, the clay. It will rip in half. So what you would do is you would get another board and put the board on here with the cloth, and then turn everything over onto a fresh board, like when you do cooking, and then you just peel the cloth away. So for instance, if I pick this up for too long and I keep going like this, you'll see that the clay wants to snap. It will break. So when it gets fairly large, you know it will split. Once you've rolled that clay, leave it for, well, you can either leave it for a couple of hours, but if you leave it for a couple of hours, remember, maybe every 20 minutes, every half an hour, to turn the clay over and press it down, because the clay will have a habit of peeling upwards, right? So you'll need to press down, leave it for 2 hours, then you turn over and you'll see it curling up slightly. Press down, keep it rolling.
Could you speed it up with the hairdryer?
Yeah, and then the other thing is that if you don't want to wait 2 hours, you can use the hairdryer that I showed you, and you just dry it on the top. Now this clay, you will find it's sticky. You want it dry so it feels like rubber. The other term is leather hard. In pottery they say the term leather hard. That's when clay is really workable and smooth. For instance, if I cut this clay, you can see it's quite soft. But if you use it when it's leather hard, it literally does cut like frozen butter. Really nice. You use a hairdryer, so instead of it taking 2 hours, it will take, let's see, 5 minutes. So it really speed up the time. I wouldn't recommend using an air gun. I'd certainly use a hairdryer. That would be really helpful. Okay. What we're going to do now is then, I'm going to show you how to make the coil pot. I have a slab that I've already made that's turned to leather, and so I will begin with that one. Okay.